Hello BookTube! This is the third and final part of my fairy tale project. I've been reading Fairy Tale by Hiro Mashima from January 1st, and I finished it this past Monday the 16th. Fairy Tale is a fantasy battle manga series. It's a Japanese comic book in the shonen demographic, and it features battles. So a lot of the plot is driven by battles between characters. Fairy Tale is set in a fantasy world called Earthland in the Kingdom of Fiori. In this world, 10% of the population have magical powers, and a lot of these wizards come together in guilds where they socialize, where they take jobs, and no guild is as infamous as Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale is infamous for the quirkiness and destructiveness of its members, and no Fairy Tale wizard exemplifies that more than Natsu Dragneel. Natsu Dragneel is a fire dragon slayer, and he travels with Exceed companion called Happy. The Exceed are a race of anthropomorphic cats. One day, while searching for the dragon Igneel, Natsu's adoptive father, Natsu and Happy run into Lucy Heartfilia, a young celestial spirit wizard who is capable of using magical keys to summon spirits associated with constellations. Natsu and Happy invite Lucy to join Fairy Tale, and they form the core team that the series follows. Joining the trio are Urza Scarlet, the strongest woman in Fairy Tale, who has the ability to re-equip magical armors. Also, there's a Grateful Buster, who's an ice make wizard. He can make objects out of ice, and he later gains more powers as well. And later, Wendy Marvel, a sky dragon slayer, much like Natsu, who was raised by the dragon Grandini. And Wendy also has an Exceed companion called Carla. Other major characters joining the team are Juvia, who has a water-based magic, Gajeel, who is an Iron Dragon Slayer, much like Natsu and Wendy, and he eventually gets an Exceed companion named Panther Lily. Also, for the Grand Magic Games, Elfman joined briefly, and periodically other wizards show up as well. So I read, the last 3 days of Fairy Tale for this week, because I finished on Monday, I read from volume 49, which concluded the Tartarus arc, to volume 63, which concludes the series. And the storylines I'm going to be talking about this week, or for this video, will encompass the Tartarus arc up through the Alvarez Empire arc, the final arc. So, at the end of the Sun Village arc, Natsu and the gang learn who froze the village, and also of an enemy that Igneel was incapable of defeating. So the person who froze the Sun Village was an ice demon slayer, who basically is rather similar to Natsu and the other dragon slayers, in that their magic is geared towards killing demons. They're also god slayers too. And this one has ice magic. And that the demon that Igno could not defeat was a being called E&D. It's later revealed in the next arc that E&D is allegedly the founder of one of the three members of the Balam Alliance. The Balam Alliance is a trinity of dark guilds that control the magical underworld in the setting. The other two members have previously been Face, the Oresian Sace, and Grimoire Heart. So up next is Tartarus, in one of the best arcs of the series. So Tartarus is composed of, in its upper echelons, of demons from the Book of Zareth. So Zareth is one of the two main antagonists of the series. He is an incredibly powerful dark wizard who, over his long life, created a number of demons tied to books. And a number of them have formed Tartarus. Its leader is, though E&D is claimed to be the guild master, the de facto leader is a being called Margir, who can create thorny brambles and vines. Under him are the 9 demon gates. Of course, a member is the Ice Demon Slayer, who is actually revealed to be a zombie. Keys, who is a necromancer. Kyoka, who can heighten and strip senses as well as stats. Sayla, who can control people. Jackal, who can cause explosions. Tempester, who can manipulate winds and lightning. Friendmouth, who can take over wandering souls and other beings as well. Tuofuzar, who can create masses of poisonous water, and Ezel, who basically just has tentacles. This arc was so much fun. So basically what Tartarus is after is to unseal E&D. And in order to do this, they launch a massive attack on the Magic Council and on former council members. And this draws Fairy Tail into the mix because one of the former members is a friend of Makarov's. And ultimately, a number of Fairy Tail wizards are captured by Tartarus, and for some reason Tartarus comes to Magnolia to attack Fairy Tail in person, and that leads to a massive fight between Fairy Tail and Tartarus in Magnolia itself, and Magnolia gets wrecked in this. It is an amazing, some of these battles are amazing. There's Urza against Kyoka. Lucy has some wonderful moments in this arc, particularly against Jackal. Natsu's fight with Jackal is amazing. Laxus's fight with Tempester is amazing. Minerva's appearance is really well done, and her redemption, the sort of final battle between Natsu along with the twin dragons of Sabretooth, Sting, and Rogue, and later Gray, who has an awesome arc with that Ice Demon Slayer. It's wonderful. And that the final sort of spoiler thing, even though the cover of 49 does sort of spoil it, though, doesn't it? Is amazing as well. I love it. Let me show you some, and also Wendy, who beats Azel by herself, which is amazing. Let me see if I could show you some pictures. So this is Fairy Tail launching the attack on Tartarus's guild hall. And then there's some of Urza against Kyoka. Is there anything else in here? Oh yeah, I wanted to show you some of Wendy actually beating. So this is that image I like. Yes, it's really fun arc. In it, there's a lot of twists and turns, and it's really, really wonderfully well done. Like here's some of the fight between Wendy and Azel. It's wonderful. Let me go get the part with Lucy. Because there's one point where the Fairy Tail are captured within the guild, and Lucy's the only one who's hasn't been captured, and so it's her against everybody, and it's an awesome set of moments. So there's some of her fight. This is possibly one of the best bits of like Lucy in the entire series. So yeah, she's wonderful. So after Tartarus has been destroyed, Makarov disbands the guild, and there's a 1-year time skip before the final arc. So there's a mini arc or a set of mini arcs before the big final arc, which takes up to well over 10 volumes, the longest arc in the series, which is typical for this style of manga. So basically, Lucy has become a reporter for Sorcerer Weekly. Natsu and Happy have gone on a journey. Ursa's gone to work with Jalal. Gray and Juvia have moved in together, and later Gray works with Ursa. Gajil, Panther Lily, and Levi have joined the Magic Council. Wendy's joined Lamia's Scale, another guild. Laxus, Freed, Bixalo, and Evergreen have joined Blue Pegasus, another guild, and the others have scattered. But this arc is largely about Natsu once he reappears, and Lucy getting the guild back together before they go to rescue Makarov, who has disappeared. It's in the big final arc. It's revealed that Makarov has gone to the Alvarez Empire to negotiate with the Emperor to allay a coming invasion of Ishgal, the continent where Fiore is located, because the Empire wants the Fairy Heart, the secret of Fairy Tail. It's revealed that the Emperor is Zeref himself, and this kicks off the final arc. So Zeref is a weird character. He's an immensely powerful wizard who has been cursed. So when Zeref was younger, he royally pissed off one of the more powerful and interventionist gods in the setting. And Zeref was cursed with the curse of contradiction, where if he values life, if he loves something intensely, his magical powers will go haywire and kill it. But if he doesn't value life, he's in perfect command of his powers, and he can go on some horrifically destructive rampages. And so one of his, while he's in his more I don't care about life phases, he sees other people as toys, as chess pieces. And over the centuries, he has built up a continent spanning empire called Alvarez, in which every legal and dark guild on the continent has been subordinated to the empire. And hence, Alvarez is a much more magically militant society. Under Zareth, there are 12 incredibly powerful wizards who basically outstrip anything anyone Fairy Tale has encountered before. So those 12 are, fortunately, they are all on the cover of volume 58. So here is Zareth, the Black Wizard. His chief of staff is Invel, who has ice magic. There's also Agil, who has sand magic. Brandish Mew, who has she can manipulate mass, size. Demaria has time control abilities. Nineheart can basically draw on people's memories to draw simulacrums of past opponents into reality to fight for him. There's also Jacob Lesio, who is an assassin. Wall, who is an android. Bloodman, who is a demon from the Book of Zareth, who has death magic. God Serena, a artificial dragon slayer who has defected from Ishgal. At this point, with the Magic Council destroyed, the 10 wizard saints, the strongest wizards in Ishgal, have come together to form a new council. And unfortunately, God Serena was the strongest of them all, by orders of magnitude. And even he is on the weaker end of the 12. And then there's also Larkade, who has the ability to enhance pleasure, hunger, and sleepiness. And then the two strongest of the 12. And the two strongest, basically you could go Acnologia, Zareth, and then these two. And there's some debate over which of these two is the strongest. There is August, this old man here, who has immense magical powers and can basically copy all kinds of caster magic. So in Fairy Tale, there are two kinds of magic. There's caster magic and holder magic. Caster magic is magic generated by the individual. Ice make, dragon slaying magic is caster. And then holder, which is like Lucy's celestial spirit magic. And then Irene, Belsarian, who is the Scarlet Scourge, who basically is one of the more traditionally Western wizards in the setting, who has immense enchantment magic. And in their two fights, it's basically there is no way they could have been beaten. It's an amazing. This final arc is amazing. It brings Zareth and Acnologia, the two main antagonists of the series, together, and the ebb and flow of the fights, the sort of how all of the guilds, or many of the guilds that have been featured, Mermaid Heel, Lemia Scale, Blue Pegasus, Sabretooth, all come together and all have their moments to shine. It's amazing. The final fight between Natsu and Zareth Mavis's intervention, the first guild master, um, the final battle with Acnologia, where the remaining Dragon Slayers all have their fight with Acnologia, while the entire every wizard in Ishgal basically works with Lucy to try to imprison Acnologia. Sorry for the spoiler. And some of the fights are amazing. Grace fight with Invel, Ursa's fight with Agil, the defeat of, oops, that's a spoiler too. The revelation about E and D, the fight between Ursa and Wendy and Irene is amazing. It's just, I love this arc. It's something else. Yeah, I had a blast. I absolutely had a blast with Fairy Tale. In fact, I rather would like to go back to it. It's just, anyway. So yeah, just I had a blast these past 2 weeks. So now that Fairy Tale's done, I've been working on some of my other January reading projects. And I'll talk a bit about them next Friday for extended weekly reads. Although, spoiler alert, I really wish I could go back to Magnolia and hang at the guild with Natsu and the gang and try not to get hit by flying bottles like poor Mara Jane. But anyway, I'll rant about that next Friday. Although it has gotten me fairly down, but hopefully this weekend will improve things. If I may have to change some of my reading plans, I don't know. But anyway, that's all I've got for now. So until I see you next week, which in addition to weekly reads, I'm hoping I'll have an original tag up on Monday. I'll hopefully do a tag on Tuesday that won't depress me so much as one of the tags I'm going to do this week did, amongst other things, but that's neither here nor there. And a few other videos pending. But anyway, BookTube, that's all I got for this week. So until I see you next week, thank you. Have a great rest of your evening and weekend. And I will see you on Monday. So until then, BookTube, thank you and stay safe.